Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses on another beautiful day here at Belmont Park. It's the last Friday of the Belmont meet as we head towards the weekend. 3 days of racing left, 9 races today, 10 tomorrow, and 9 on Sunday. Absolutely excellent card tomorrow. An interesting card today as well. Looking forward to talking about it with my good friend, the Big A, Anthony Stabile. I want you, while you're waiting for all this excitement to begin, to ask yourself that important question. Am I a member of NYRA And if you're not, why? Head over to NYRABets.com, bet 200, get 200. New member bonus. The promo code is fall19. And I got to tell you, this is a beautiful fall. We have been very lucky here at Belmont with the weather throughout the meet, and there hasn't been one warm jacket, mittens, and hat day. People are going to be annoyed. You know, I'm going to have to wear the hat in the studio one day at Aqueduct. I'll have to wear that.
You made me lose $5 to Christine. I thought you were going to wear the jacket.
It was never that cold. Never that cold. I haven't got the winter jacket out yet. 10 times points on the late on to NYRA Bets on the late pick 5. However you bet it, and that late pick 5 payouts have been significantly better than all the other late multis if you've checked them out. This week, some amazing payouts. It's over 5 times the parlay on Wednesday. Sunday is closing day, so we got mandatory payouts in the early and late pick 5. They cannot carry. And the Empire 6, we will pay out. Feels like the carryover will be about 250 or so, 260 maybe by then. It's about 200 right now. So we'll be getting that carryover, and they'll be paying it out in the mandatory late pick. I'll be filming a video handicapping, talking about the races in the Empire 6 tomorrow morning. That'll be available everywhere where those things are available. Also, next Thursday, I'll be taping those Breeders' Cup video previews as well. A horse that will not be participating in the Breeders' Cup, but many thought would have been one of the favorites, is Maximum Security. What that slate doesn't tell you could fill up a book. Here are some of the things. He finished first in the Kentucky Derby. He was disqualified. He's probably the most talked about horse that didn't win a Triple Crown in the last 25 years of racing. He won the Haskell. He was not able to make the Pennsylvania Derby, but he's running here, and hopefully it's a prep for the Cigar Mile. And I'm going to tell you something. I think it's fair to say that this is his stiffest challenge yet. I mean, the Derby, obviously, a stiff challenge, but running at some good older horses in this race. Looking forward to that. Maximum Security in our bold ruler, I believe the 8th of 10 races tomorrow.
Yeah, race 8.
You wouldn't know from that slate.
Race 8.
No, but he's a pretty well-known horse. Yes, there it is, race late. And the post time. But he also finished first in the Kentucky Derby. Anyhow.
Looking forward to the excitement on the patio. You know, I like to hang out on the patio tomorrow. Looks like it'll be the last patio day of the year at Belmont Park. Be down on the patio because maybe some rain Sunday. So patio day. Got some Breeders' Cup work to do, of course, as well.
You got up early, and you were really proud of yourself for getting up early and doing some work.
You know, Andy, I don't appreciate it. I did get up early today. I got up at 5:30. I'm blue.
You look like what was it, Violet Beauregard?
Did you ever see the movie They Live, the Rowdy Piper movie, where he can see with special glasses the aliens on Earth? Keith David is in the movie as well. That's what we look like
I like
right
Keith
there.
David.
That's what we look like, right? Just like that.
Keith David's in Platoon, I believe, right? Keith David's good. It's in a lot of movies.
Yeah, good actor.
I've never seen Roddy Piper.
Oh, They Live. You might like They Live. It's a little interesting. It's a little quirky. It's a little like
Parasite?
Like a B film.
You, by the way, would actually like the Korean movie Parasite. That's getting a lot of attention now. You would. I promise you would like it.
All right. Well, we should have some good buzz tomorrow down on the patio. Before Maximum Security, a lot of people are excited.
No, it's cool that he's running here. It is. I mean, I kid around and I say things tongue-in-cheek, but I think we're all excited that he's running here.
I picked against him.
I agree. Yep, as did I. But I won't be shocked if he wins. He's going to be over bet. I mean, he's even money in the morning line. I think David.
It'll be 3 to 5. 2 to 5.
I don't know about that.
It's Maximum Security, Andy.
Anthony, believe it or not, a lot of money in the pool, especially at Belmont, is sophisticated money. Let me ask you a question. If the names were A, B, C, D, E, and E, F, G, and H, E, F, G, H.
He'd be 5 to 2.
On a Thursday in the third race.
He'd be 5 to 2.
I think Prince Lucky would be favored.
Maybe.
It's close.
Maybe.
It's very close between those two. You know,
maybe.
I mean, there have been some.
You may be right. I may be crazy.
Triple Crown races live in weird places, like Sunday Silence being 2 or 3 to 5 and Easy Goer 8 to 5 in the Belmont. Whereas if that was a random Thursday, Easy Goer would have probably been favored.
I agree.
But I don't know about a race like that.
Okay.
I think he'll be favored.
Maybe I'll get a chance to get some of my lunches back tomorrow.
What's the bet you want to make? By the way,
I would take under 4 to 5. I think it'll be
okay,
under
you
4
got
to 5.
340. You got 340. We're up to 38. You lost 6 lunches yesterday. That was annoying.
Yeah, I almost
You know why
I
that
almost texted you to claim foul on that bet.
No.
Because our early PPs did not have Joel Rosario. What are you taking my pen for?
I'm just writing this down. 340, 350. You win 350 or
I
lower.
win 350. How many are we going to bet?
5 lunches.
5 lunches?
Yeah.
Good. Joel Rosario was scheduled to be at Laurel yesterday, as well as here. Opted to try to go to Laurel. They canceled yesterday and today because of a sewer main break or a pipeline break or something like that. So hopefully they'll get fixed.
You were there last week.
Yeah, I was there last Saturday. So it was not my fault. So hopefully we get to.
I don't know. He said the way he said that. I'm now a little bit nervous that there's some relationship to Anthony being down there and there being a problem.
They get their stuff settled, but I almost texted you.
You didn't have a big meal or anything.
I didn't. That's why I said it wasn't my fault. I almost texted you to cancel the bet.
You wouldn't have been let out. You know why that was a bad bet? I'm going to tell you why it was a bad bet.
I didn't say action.
No,
I said Rosario,
didn't I? Why it was a bad bet. Because our horses had very different running
Of course,
styles.
I'm going to stop and you're going to pick them up if he gets to do a speed duel. I got it.
If your horse didn't run particularly well, it wasn't going to be. I'm not saying it's like
he was also victimized by Quarky getting a very aggressive ride.
But he's victimized by his lack of ability. But forgetting about that, you were right that your horse was probably 3 times as likely to win his outrageous bet.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that, but you weren't right that he was 3 times. It's like those prop bets.
Yep.
The prop bets on the Breeders' Cup and the Derbies are always very smart bets.
I would have canceled.
Because they'll match up horses where one has much more ability, but they have very different running styles.
Yeah.
And one horse, can easily just
and they
get
give
lucky
you like plus 140 to minus 130.
And it looks like, oh my gosh, that horse is, is 5 to 1.
It is what it is.
The other horse is 15 to 1. I have a discussion with my friend Bruce, and I'll tell him, you have to look necessarily at the running styles and how the race is set up.
It is what it is. I lost the lunches. It won't be the first ones I lost. It certainly won't be the last ones I lost.
The question will be, and I think we'll have a poll on Twitter, and we'll get into this card in a second, when I should amnesty you, what the number it is, and when I'm going to amnesty you a certain number of lunches, because I got to tell you, it's getting a little sad. Race number 1, we'll take a look at Mrs. S. We'll look from the start, and then we'll go to the quarter to finish. And I think the question, Mrs. S., she was extremely highly touted. I remember Jose Ortiz was back aboard today, was out of town that day, I guess probably at Kentucky Downs. She got left, like so many of these Pletcher horses. Now, she didn't get terribly left, but she was sluggish out of the gate. I frankly don't think she was beating secondary market anyway.
Sluggish
the secondary
is the good word. I agree.
Secondary market's pretty good. She ran well. The rail was good this day. I don't know how much of an advantage it was, though, to be honest. And it's not like secondary market got off it in the stretch. I disagree with the notion there was something wrong with the rail, and I think the results back that up. But I don't think she was badly compromised by the track. And for a horse that was as highly touted as she was, and Jose Ortiz, I was saying, had tweeted he'd been working her and how he was excited to see her run. He was out of town, so Manny had the mount. There have been a number of these Pletcher horses again this year that have been highly touted. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, these horses did not lose, and they didn't lose like that, and they're losing with regularity, but she's found a field where she almost has to win today.
Bias, edge aside, whatever you want to call it. She was also a 2-year-old making her first start that was 5 wide on the turn. Whether that helps.
Not that big a deal at
Bias,
Belmont.
but ordinarily, I agree with that.
Was bet like she was. Andy.
I ordinarily agree with that, Andy. But it's also her first start as a 2-year-old.
But she was 4 to 5. She's supposed to be ready.
I think you have to. They're still flesh and blood, and I think you have to give these horses a little bit of a benefit of the doubt.
She's probably going to win today. But let me put it this way.
I think you're a little harder on these horses.
No,
I think you are sometimes.
No, because let me put it this way. How many of those Todd Pletcher horses in 2018 that were heavily bet in Saratoga that disappointed went on to become particularly good?
None.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say none. I'm sure there's one out there,
right.
But none that I can think of off the top of my head.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't disagree with that.
When they disappointed, it's like that Candy horse that came back and finished 3rd, I think. That horse had all kinds of trouble. I certainly thought the horse was going to win next time out. I'm not going to say that I was in the camp that was suspicious. That horse had no real excuse and ran dismally in the next race. She's going to probably win today. Don't get me wrong, because this looks like unless into wind, the homebred from Calumet for Todd, into the dam was pretty good. She has not produced particularly well, unless that horse is a runner. I mean, what else is in there? You've got maiden claimers in this race, essentially in a $25,000 2-year-old purchase for George Weaver.
Yeah, no,
And a mile and 16th first time out.
This looks like if you're playing the early pick 5, this is the bingo square today.
Yeah, but all
all
I'm saying about her is it's hard. I want to see her deliver in a big way today because the hype did not get produced at all.
I mean, she gets 2 first-time starters having to go a mile and a 16th first time out and 2 maiden claimers. If she doesn't win today, there's problems.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
Race number 2. Number 2 is an interesting race because you've got some firsters, but you've got, and just hold up in the video for a moment, you've got a horse that went long that had a trip that we'll show in a moment, just hang on, and you've got 2 stretch outs in Las Ramblas and the 9 Love of My Heart. Now we'll start with Las Ramblas. How about this stat for Wesley Ward? I mean, I couldn't believe this. A 2-year-old maiden stretching out on the turf, 1 for 32. In their second starts, he's 1 for 20. So these horses are just not getting it done.
I don't think you expect to see, I'm sorry,
Anthony,
you don't expect to see 1 for 32, right?
You know, I'm not saying you expect to see 9 for 32,
right.
but
this is amazing.
This is
amazing.
And I'll tell you something else about it. Do you think this horse ran that well first time out?
No.
I thought it was a bad race. Chimney Rock is okay to 1.
I think it's very important, and again, this is the first time we've had to deal with this. This is the first year we've had to deal with this. She comes out of one of these restricted races. This is one of those restricted races. Everybody in here,
but this is one too.
Except the number 9, Love My Heart, has run in some type of restricted race.
100%.
They've run against state breds.
That, by the way?
Good point.
No, that's a great point. Yeah, yeah.
They've run against state breds, or they've run in these restricted races, and I think that holds a lot of water because it's almost like a level between dropping in for the tag.
That's a very fair point.
Facing the open maidens.
I'm going to ask you something though. The voting agreement, unfortunately, wasn't able to run back. Boston Beauties, who ran second, stunk the joint up in her next start.
Yep.
Indochine won a bad maiden race and then came back and bombed at Keeneland.
Not good in the Jessamine.
Horses are not running out of that race, and I don't know about you. I know Love of My Heart broke a little slow in that race. She was brutal. And I'm beginning to, that Shug horse that everybody was talking about in the last race yesterday, that horse didn't run a step yesterday. It was supposedly working well. I mean, I'm not sure how good. Now, I'm not saying there are any tigers in here.
Well, that's
and
the
Cassie
problem,
has
right?
Decent numbers. Not great numbers, decent numbers stretching out. I didn't put them up because they're just sort of run-of-the-mill. I mean, they're okay. Their ROI is decent. But this horse going to be a short price.
Yeah, but getting a good rider changed to Jose Lascano, stretching out second time.
What did Tyler do wrong last time?
I'd rather have Jose.
But but Anthony, it's like we talked about with Luis Reyes going to Ryrat Ortiz. What did he do wrong? You got to tell me the rider bungled the ride.
No, he didn't do anything wrong.
He gave the horse a perfect ride last time.
He didn't do anything wrong.
That's all I'm saying.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Now, Jazzy Lady, I thought ran extremely well. I will agree with you. This is not a good field, and it's the old, there's no trips in slow races. But, awkward start. Okay, fair. She broke a length and a half, 2 lengths slow. And found herself in the back. I mean, this was a legitimate trip here. And it's not just that. I thought it was a very good ride by Luis Saez afterwards because he was patient. He didn't panic. And he saved ground for much of the turn relative to. When you see her in that 2-path right now, and he does a very good job laying out. But this was not a race that collapsed by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like horses were really running at the end. She gets held up here. That horse is on her flank. The horse is drifting in front of her. And as soon as she gets herself a little daylight, I mean, look, she's got that gray outside of her. She accelerates away from that horse. This was a good effort. And with a better trip and a cleaner break, she probably runs a 57, 58 buyer. She has that start.
And the winner was part of it, and like you said, it held together. But the winner had a much easier trip than she did. I mean, she ran the best race that day.
You just didn't pick her because it's Ray Handel. You hate him. No,
they're the two for me. I think the biggest issue I have with her, and she won't be favored because Love My Heart will be, but she'll probably take a lot of money off of that.
Well, let's talk pedigrees a little bit.
Okay.
It's a first foal on Trickle Inn, who's a very low-priced Temple City, not a great sign for Jonathan Thomas. The interesting horse in the pedigree is Noble Enterprise. The dam has produced 3 horses ran the turf. They all ran buyers in the 70s. They were all okay. She's a 3-time winner in the turf. The dam with a 91 buyer. There's okay turf in the second family. Got Noble Mission as sire. This horse has pedigree, and I'm going to tell you something. I wouldn't leave anybody out in this race that has a pedigree because it's not going to take a Herculean effort to win this race.
I contemplated putting her on top for a while.
Yeah.
I felt like it's almost time for a Peter Pugh to pay $22.
You know, I saw him in Saratoga. Is that a count?
That doesn't count.
I saw him, no,
different meet, different county.
No, I saw him when I was up there last week.
Oh, would
that be a little bit of a
definitely can hit the board then.
Oh, by the way, should we break? You tell me, Justin. We break after 4 or 5 races. You tell me. 4. Okay, we'll break after 4. Justin's the boss. Race number 3. We'll look at Plainsman's race 2 races back.
Can I turn away?
This was a superior effort by this horse. The winner ran huge for Tom Amoss and was walking on the front end. And Plainsman ran extremely well to get second. He didn't run well in the Kelso, but it's not like he ran so badly. And the other thing is, he's supposed to be loose as a goose in here. Joel's got to send this horse to the front end, and it's all.
It is Joel, right?
Oh. Joel, I hope you're not still down at Laurel.
Anymore.
Joel, you let down your man Anthony. He's your second biggest fan behind me.
I'm his biggest fan. Believe you me.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Literally and figuratively. Yeah. And this horse has done a lot of good work on or close to the lead. So
there's no speed in this race.
Yeah,
it's
there's
ridiculous.
no speed in this race, and Joel's as good as it gets at doling out that speed on the front end. And yeah, I mean, like you said, the race in the Kelso kind of unfolded strangely. He just got hung out to dry, and you know, I almost wouldn't have minded if he was a little more aggressively ridden. He wasn't. Probably.
The other thing is, you're to blame. Gold Rail Trip last time, suck up second. Realm is okay, but he's better going longer. And Bonus Points is okay, but probably not as good. Plainsman's supposed to win this race. He's not going to be 7 to 5. He's going to be 3 to 4 to 5.
Yes, he is.
He's going to be a very short price. He'll be a shorter price than Maximum Security tomorrow.
Wow.
I don't think Maximum Security is going to be as short as you do. By the way, you know, I wasn't.
I'll take a lunch on that.
Okay.
This is the first 2-day lunch ever. There you go. It's like when my friends come to the cigar shop and don't have a lighter. Smoking a cigar, you don't have a lighter?
Oh, no, I had one.
Onto the set. Number one, you're at the
racetrack. I don't have enough pens in my office. I only have
has to be a
400 in my office.
You go to the racetrack, there has to be a pen on you at all times.
You're right.
Scary.
Guilty.
You should be docked a lunch.
Race number 4. Here's the question in race number 4, the $1 million question. Is this horse, Lovely Lala, and we'll go back to her running second at 7 furlongs to Broken Board of Jason Service. Is she going to win a race before the year is up?
Wow.
I'd like to bet her a few lunches. It's amazing this horse is over.
All I want to do is see her get to the front, and she keeps finding races where it's impossible for her to clear the lead.
She ain't getting to the front here.
She's not getting to the front here until the Stone Factor.
Well, she got a trainer. He has allergic to getting the front. He breaks out in hives if they set her in the front. He's my friend. I can make fun of him.
It's unbelievable.
She's been a massive disappointment. But while being a disappointment, she's continuously running races that are as fast or not faster than this field. Would you disagree with that?
No.
So you have to consider her the horse to beat.
Sure do.
She's just a very, very hard horse to take at a short price. You got to use her, but you got to try to beat her.
You're playing a pick 5.
You like Merlin's Muse,
pick
huh?
4, yeah. I'm hoping the extra eighth of a mile, stretching out from last time. She won going 7/8 back here in May at Belmont, and third off a little bit of the 2-month break. Gets to 7/8 again. When Stone Factor's around, there's always some pace on. I'm hoping she just comes.
Well, you got Stone Factor, who's got speed. You got Cirque, and we'll talk about it in a second. You got Mama Mary. You got, I don't think Say Lady will be super aggressive with Joelle, but she's not slow. And what do you do with Cirque? She ran her last race. She's not impossible here. Where'd it come from, though?
Yeah, I think, you know,
it's gonna be a big price again today.
Ordinarily let those types beat me where I can't explain where that race came from.
But it was good.
It was very good.
It was very good. Even third in the round isn't bad. She actually was close to the pace last time, and that race fell apart. I thought Merlin's Muse took advantage of the pace scenario, but she ran fine. She's a player in here. I'm going to go back a long time. I'm going to go back to the second day of the Belmont meet in 2018.
Wow.
Well, because I want to remind people that Parage's Dinah is actually an effective turf sprinter. She had won her prior race at a huge price at 6 furlongs at Aqueduct at 18 to 1, running down a heavy favorite Wesley Ward. Here she is dead last in this race. And was
that a mentality? She beat mentality that day?
It feels possible. In this race, she's going to finish second, but a very, very good second. And the point I'm making about her is that she's a very effective horse in these there she is coming on the far outside in these turf sprints. So I actually think cutting back is good for her, and Ned Allard's a trainer that's had success shipping in New York before. He hasn't shipped too many horses, and I like Parage's Dinah getting back this
It was
way.
Awesome Roar. That's who it was.
Awesome Roar.
Yes,
yeah.
that's who it was. It was Awesome Roar. Yeah, she makes a lot of sense.
She was like 1 to 2. Joe Bravo, I think, was on her.
huge.
Was Joe Bravo on this one? Joe Bravo might
have won the race.
He might have been in this horse, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
But I want people to be aware, if you go back in her PPs and you look, that she's an effective horse sprinting. Don't think this is too short for her by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and I want to say that race that we just showed was 6,
yeah,
not
it was 6.
7.
It was 6. I said
so
it was 6.
The 7 should hit her right between the eyes. I don't think she's going to be that. Man, if she's that 8-1 on the morning line.
She'll be 5, 6, 6,
Yeah.
7 to 1. I mean, she has to be well, Anthony, there's a lot of horse to bet.
Yeah, a lot of horse that you could bet in here.
How is
no
she?
Question
Why
about
would she be a short price?
No.
She's too slow.
Yeah.
She has to run her best race to win this race.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think the cutback's going to help her a lot.
We'll see. Interesting race. A lot going on in race number 4. Should we take a quick break?
That's what Justin said.
We will take a quick break. Come back with the late
pick 5.
Pick 5. 10 times points, by the way.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up at NairaBets.com for a new member bonus.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, the late pick 5, 10 times points, by the way, through Naira Bets. Kicks off in race number 5, and Anthony's going to steal my horse in here. And don't even pretend that you haven't stolen my horse, because you know Mary's Girl is my horse. You know I was on her for a long time. You know how far I've been on this.
You've never ridden Mary's Girl.
You've stolen. Oh, so at least he admitted it. It's the first step. Stealing my horse.
You've never ridden Andy's
She's improved, Mary's Girl.
Mary's Girl, Andy's Girl.
She's improved. She doesn't even drop that far out of it. She ran well on a sloppy track 2 races back. We had more mischief.
Last time was fantastic because she was taken a little bit out of her element where she had to be a little closer to the pace, and she continued on. She didn't get cut down.
I'm also going to say something. This is one of those reasons. This is a very good reason why you're foolish, and anyone who doesn't use the time form pace projector is foolish. Because the time form pace projector has this as a very slow pace, a very moderate pace, favoring speed, which it may, because there's never a fast pace around here. But having said that, and they're saying proportionality is going to be loose. She's not likely to be loose because Elegant Rose is going to go. And they were aggressive with her. Now, she's not that fast, but she's had speed before, and they showed the speed last time, and they acknowledged after the race that she needs to be aggressive, be a player. Now, she's a big price in the morning line. I don't know how big a price she's going to be in here off of that big win by 12 lengths. I don't agree. Do you think she's really going to be 8-1 in here?
No, because like you say all the time, people like ones.
Yeah, that
she had the ones last time, and I think you got to
show
be
that
careful.
trainer stat, please, Justin.
I think you got to be careful when you see the turf speed of proportionality. I know she's shown speed on the dirt as well, but she's a little faster.
We have a trainer stat for the number 5 Elegant Rose. I don't know what's...
George Navarro. Good percentage, not a great ROI.
No, and listen, I guess you probably get paid because she'll be more than 4-1.
Right.
You're just saying they're just not running back to him, and I don't think that race is good enough to win here, but I do think she'll be more forwardly placed. Also, isn't Collegeville Girl supposed to be forward here?
And that's what I was assuming. I was assuming, and I know that the projector came back slow, but don't you figure that there's got to be at least some contention up there? Maybe they're not going to go that fast.
Well, Collegeville Rural has right. They never go fast around here.
But you got to figure there's going to be a few horses.
The cops come in and assess them a ticket if they.
You got to figure there's going to be a few horses here trying, at least vying for the lead.
You have to think that the 5 and 6 are going to want the lead, and you have to think Collegeville Girl's supposed to go. So I think we'll at least have an honest pace in here.
Yeah, Collegeville Girl has 2 wins. They're both wire to wire, and the 3 races where she wasn't very good, she was off the pace. She has to go.
Yeah. You've got trouble for Skylar second. I don't like this horse at all.
Well, he
promised me roses last time, Anthony.
I know, but I'm just thinking that there's going to be some contention up there, and maybe she's the one to pick up the pieces. I don't know. You really trust any of the speed in here, Andy?
Yeah, I think Collegeville Girl's going to do well in this race.
All right.
And I'd like to see them be aggressive and actually be in front
Based on
with
her races where she absolutely needs the lead, you don't think that if she gets compromised on the front end, she's just going to fold her
I think they have to go with her. I think you're supposed to do with her what Jose Lozcano did with El Hermano yesterday. Go to the lead, not worry about how fast
You think she's fast enough to get in front of the 5 or the 6?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. She has to break. She has to break. But yes, I do think she's fast enough. Her first
Well, this
race,
kid was able to get her out of the gate 2 starts back with no problem. So, and last time, I'm not going to hold a cotillion against her. So,
Girl of Toscanova. You see that 4 or 5 wide upper, and that's not the chart caller's fault. Because they're right. I don't know if she's that wide, but I probably would have preferred. The thing about it is she was on the rail for most of the race.
She was right there in the Soul Cup.
The person who keeps asking me questions about track biases on Twitter, go to Track Trends on NYRA.com.
She's in a 2-path here, and now she's
rail,
going to swing
2-path
out the
to turn to the 3-path, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't put her. Now she drifts a little bit here, but the point of it is, she spent a lot of the race on the rail. And the horse who had the wide trip was the one who ran very well and ran second and hasn't run a step since that race. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know where that race came from. I guess Girl Toscanova is a logical type horse. She's second off a layoff. She's obviously had some ability last year. She ran well enough last time. She's sort of the logical horse in here, but I don't think she's any great shakes.
No, I don't either. And I think you got to worry about the second start off that 9-month break. Now I know Charlie Baker's given her plenty of time.
2 months.
Yeah. Charlie Baker's given her plenty of time. So, but yeah, I mean, she's down inside. She's kind of got to hope everything breaks her way in front of her. Yeah, I mean, she's going to be.
It's proportionality.
She's probably going to be the favorite, right?
Yeah. Is proportionality really impossible in here? I mean, what's wrong with her getting back in the dirt? I'm not sure why Ray was so hell-bent on running the turf. Maybe races just, I guess those star allowances came up for her, and those were the races that she could run in, and he was looking for a spot. What's wrong with her? And I'll tell you something else. If Manny's aggressive and the other guys aren't, and she finds herself in front, she's dangerous.
I'll tell you what I think her undoing is in here. It's the extra half furlong, because the 5.5 furlong race against Honey Graham is one of her better races. The race on the turf going 5.5, she got beat less than a length. I think maybe she has some distance limitations at this point.
Okay.
That would be my biggest concern with her.
I just don't think she's impossible here.
I don't
particularly like Elegant Rose. I don't particularly like Trouble for
Yeah.
Skylar, and I don't like Why Is She So Lucky. 1, 2, 3, 6. I could use all 4.
And would you really be surprised if Navarro's filly came back and won?
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't.
I would. I don't
The
know.
only filly I think would surprise me here would be the 4.
Well,
the other
she's
6,
obviously,
the other 6
obviously looks a lot
I
of
wouldn't
that.
be stunned.
Race number 6. Race number 6. This is a crazy tough race. Race number 6. So you're just going because Joelle is back on Logic and Reason? Is that the Logic and Reason from
No,
Anthony
she had
Steele?
trouble first time. She ran into Alm second time.
But she didn't do any
And
running.
now she gets an extra 1/8 of a mile, which I think is going to help her cause. She didn't do any running. The filly came back in 2 weeks and won the stakes race like they were tied to the fence.
But what about a race that suggests an extra furlong's going to be good for her?
You don't think this filly's going to want a little more ground?
No. I'm not saying she won't. I'm saying what about it suggests her? Last race she was losing ground at the end of the race.
Last race she was a lot
Her
closer
first race
than
was
she
a
was
race
at
that
Saratoga.
completely melted down in the
Yeah.
last 1/8 of a mile. She had trouble in there, and she was running. I don't disagree with that. Fell apart. And I don't think selflessly winning the stake necessarily means that was a strong race. I think she just improved.
I think she's going to settle and make the one run as opposed to being a little bit closer last time. I think I liked her first race. I know her first race was slower. Yeah, I understand that, but I am not a huge believer in, especially with the young horses. I would have just let her fall out of there last time and let her run the same way she did in her debut.
I
don't really feel like she was.
Unless there's fast firster, she's probably in the lead.
Who's in the lead?
Well, the 6 is the fastest horse based on her races by far. Fastest by far.
I can't imagine they're going to send her, though.
Anthony, you don't have to be in front. You don't have to be sent to be in front. She is naturally...
You don't think Operate's going to be in front here?
No. Operate. I mean, logic and reason could be 4 lengths in front of her if she wanted.
Could be. I would venture a good guess that the 4 will be in front of the 6 in here.
Well, that's only because of a poor decision by the connections. I mean, the connections want to mitigate her chances and take her out of the race. That's up to them. I don't like the 6. I guess she's not impossible. I didn't see her, but that's okay. But I disagree with you. I think she's going to be a lot more forward than you seem to think she is. But maybe there are some fast firsters in this race. I'm not sure who they'll be, but maybe there are. I don't know what to do with after it. I put her in the mix. I mean, she seems sort of logical, right?
I put her second because at least she has some turf form.
Race fell apart last time. Pace was probably a little bit fast for a mile and a 16th. Her first race wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. But how good is she? You know,
I put her in the mix. So I put her second because I thought she was going to be in front here, and maybe the others just can't run, and she just keeps going.
She's not very fast, but I mean, Caraconte Flyers are faster than she is, isn't? Don't you think the 5 is going to be in front of Apparit?
I don't know how going the 7 furlongs. I don't know who's going to be.
Well, Caraconte Flyer is a faster horse, naturally based on her first race. Caraconte Flyer, the 5, is a tricky horse because from a pedigree standpoint, she's got a gigantic pedigree. The dam, though, is 21 years old. She's a half Delirious princess. The recent foals haven't been that good, but that horse, something and something that dead heated in the spinaway. For Mark Casse and Jack Oxley, I think. That horse, I believe, is a half to her. She was okay. I mean, she won Daddy in the Spinaway. She wasn't that fast. But 4 of the 7 foals, though, the one that ran the turf, won on the turf, and she's a Caraconte. So Caraconte Flyer is supposed to move up on the turf. And her first race wasn't good, but she's fast enough. She was 6-5, so they must have thought something of her.
I don't disagree. Those are the 3 horses I think.
Well, I think the 8. I think the 8 Honor Bell is very, very interesting for Bruce Levine, and absolutely a total guess on my part. Obviously, I don't have a tip; I never get them. I thought the workout was okay. The 21-1. I thought they paid a lot, $200,000, but this is a pedigree. You remember the dam is challenged? Who trained her? I believe she was George Weaver. She was 3 for 8 on the turf.
May have been Susan and Jim Hill.
3 for 8 on the turf. 86 buyers, a very solid turf race. Produced 3 foals to try the turf. 2 of them won. They were solid runners. This horse really has a pedigree. Honor Code. This horse could be a turf horse. I'm going to take a shot with Honor Bell. Bruce won with that horse.
I couldn't talk you off of anybody in here.
Well, I mean, you start looking through the pedigrees, and you know, the horse you've got 4th on the rail. I know you can't leave a Mott horse out. It has absolutely no pedigree at all. It's a city zip, but the dam side is not turf. Negative. Dam was 0 for 5 on the turf. The second dam, it's a first foal, but there's 5 turf losers, second family. Evocative. Interesting, SF Bloodstock has kept this horse. It's really a dirt family. Just Whistle and Dixie. Who's the other horse back? Bakken. This horse half the Bakken.
She's another one, though. That mare's getting up there in age, too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
17 or 18,
absolutely.
I believe.
But it's not screaming turf on the dam side, at least. You know, Toasted Jam for Kimmel's after a bad turf horse, that Queen.
But it's an American
Kahana.
Pharaoh.
Yeah, but $90,000 for an American Pharaoh. That's not a particularly good sign. Zucchini Flower, the dam, a Candy Flower, the horse, the 11 horse for Graham Motion. I mean, she was a dirt horse. She was 0 for 8 on the turf. She ran some decent figs, but she was a much better dirt horse.
It's just hard to take Graham's firsters at this point. Its percentages dipped under 10% the last 2 years, and I don't know. I don't know the numbers in the turf sprints, but you feel like these horses always take money, and he's just not winning with as many firsts as he used to. And you figure Castellano and Graham Motion are going to take some money in a race that is filled with question marks. There's a lot of question marks in here.
I don't think they're going to take money because Javier.
David made the morning line favorite 4-1.
Well, I think he's right.
It was more reasoning was probably shorter, right?
He's right.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying it's a race.
Who are you going to take in this race? That's one of the reasons I picked the 8 Honor Bell. If I'm going to pick somebody here, I'm going to take a big price because.
What about Patterson?
Well, the dam has produced 2 terrible horses that tried the turf. It's all dirt, the dam. There are 4 turf winners that were okay in the second family, but I think it's more of a dirt family. And my God, she was awful in her debut.
Yeah, she didn't run. She took money too. She was 4-1 that day. She didn't run.
You seen the movie Patterson?
No.
Adam Driver, Jim Jarmusch. Oh, it's great.
Didn't see it.
Highly recommended. I'll get you to start seeing some more artsy movies. The That's
after the Breeders' Cup.
Okay. Put you on a Jim Jarmusch. Have you seen Down by Law?
No.
You know what movie you would absolutely love? A Stranger in Paradise, with Richie Edson and John Lurie. It's the first Jarmusch movie back in the '80s. Seen it at a dog track, I believe.
Okay. You know what? I may have seen. I was just about to say, is there seen it at a racetrack? I may have seen that movie. I can't remember now.
It's a great movie. It's a truly great movie. As is Down by Law, with Tom Waits and John Lurie and Alberto Benigni. Actually, I think sort of
the guy from Life is Beautiful.
Yeah, well, Jim Jarmusch is actually kind of the one who put him in movies first in America.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
3 guys that end up in prison down in New Orleans, and they escape. Oh, it's great. Race number 7.
I don't need any ideas.
Race number 7 was tricky. Let's take a look at the one. A bunch of them are coming out of Saratoga. I took the one who finished first, Leotone. You took the one who finished. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You took Super Dude, another horse. The 1-2-3. You know what? I'm going to trope that Leotone just goes to the lead and wires him.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I got nothing clever to say.
I don't blame you.
Thought he ran well in this race.
I wanted to use a bunch of horses in here.
This is a tough race.
I don't trust him, but yeah. I mean, it's hard to trust any of them, though, right? They don't run against each other, but you kind of feel like they all take turns beating each other.
I think Zulu's going to run a lot better today. Did not run well in this race, but he ran very well when he finished 3rd behind your horse, Super Dude, who we'll get to in a second. I'm going to mostly hone in on them. They're my main 2, the 4 and 5, and a little 2 and 6. What do you like about Super Dude?
First time Rudy, last time down at Laurel, down at Delaware, rather, got the job done. Horse has run well at this distance.
Senior Investment wasn't Mikey T once. I'm thinking of another horse, right?
Senior's Pride.
Right.
Senior's Pride. Senior's Pride was 10 years ago. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. This horse, you're helping Leotone just goes right to the top. I don't see a ton of real speed in here, and I'm just hoping that, that Louis keeps him close up and is one of the first ones to pounce on Leotone. I don't know. I could use 5 or 6 horses.
Isn't Control Group supposed to be close? Take a look at Control Group's last race. I will give him credit. He showed some life last time. Jeremiah claimed this horse from Mike Rapoli. It's a rare Mike Rapoli horse moving up. How far behind Klarovich is Rapoli? 3? I know they've got 10. Brant's got 9. Brant's only got one more horse. He's got that maiden in on Sunday on the rail. It's rare. You don't see a lot of these Rapoli horses go up in class off the claim. You know what? I thought this was a hungry group this last time. Bluegrass Cat Smile won the race. There were 5 horses to wire together for second. I just feel like he's seen better days.
And I know speed figure wise. It's not a speed figure.
Is that in the dictionary?
According to speed figures. Better? According to speed figures, it wasn't his fastest race at Belmont. But, man, he's run some real duds here at Belmont Park. He's just better around 2 turns.
You think he's a 2-turn horse. So is Mike Dubs.
He's a 2-turn horse. I mean,
Mike Dubs he said that to me, yeah. No, I can't. I'm not going to argue with that. He seems to be better.
He just does better with his speed.
You don't like Zulu at all?
No. I've tried to kick that habit years ago. He was my Derby horse.
Oh, my God. I was going to say,
Exactly.
there were some idiots that thought he was a Derby horse who's running a Gulfstream?
Hi, my name is Anthony.
I
like Zulu.
I have some pictures in my phone of Zulu entering the gate. And Zulu entering the gate in the Fountain of Youth. I really do. I saw him recently. Yeah, against me. We finished behind. Who finished behind? Mo Heyman.
Yeah, that was the last time Mo Heyman won.
Yep. As predicted by me. The whole world loved Mo Heyman, but me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
According to Larry, when Larry started calling Mo Heyman, that's when he started losing. When the pronunciation
Race number 8. We'll start the discussion with Bound for Nowhere.
That was a great look.
And we'll look at Bound for Nowhere running second, the very talented Imprimus. And don't tell me that Bound for Nowhere is going to have a problem with 7 furlongs, because this is the replay of him running second in Keeneland behind Imprimus.
This was the day Imprimus went to his face coming out of the gate and still ran this horse down.
In fairness, because you make fun, and I don't disagree, the foolishness of going to Ascot too much, this horse has made trips to Ascot and come back and run some very good races subsequent. Yep. So this is a horse that Ascot and Wesley knows what he's doing. And
well, Wesley Ward's won 10 races at Ascot. So
mostly with 2-year-olds. Mostly with 2-year-olds.
Sorry?
Mostly with 2-year-olds.
I'm not saying it's not, but
I think that the only older horse he won with was undrafted.
Undrafted. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, at least he's won. And that adds to my point. Why go over?
I'm with you. You know that.
How about Imprimis off of the Ascot race and a third and a fourth place finishes in the body of that race, and Shecky Shabazz and Final Frontier are not in the body of the race.
There's something wrong with the Breeders' Cup selection committee if both Final Frontier and Shecky Shabazz are not in there, and to just favor Europeans with less credentials.
That horse got rewarded for going over there and running sixth?
I know.
You gotta be kidding me.
I know Ohm won this race 7 years ago, but he doesn't belong in there over there.
Christine bet on. Christine bet Ohm that day.
Well, most people have picked winners of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. I have never. I think Bound for Nowhere is okay. I just prefer other horses in this race.
I agree.
We both prefer Made You Look. Why do you like Made You Look?
I mean, this is just an ultimate class drop in here, right? He's cutting back. The ultimate class drop.
It's pretty good horses.
Say
again.
Good
horses. Yes, he's getting class relief, but he's running against a horse that's maybe as good, if not better, than horses the four. So why do you prefer him to Bound for Nowhere?
I don't like the fact. I'm going to tell you about Bound for Nowhere. My big issue with him. There's been a lot of indecisiveness with him. He's been entered like 3 different times.
Isn't that the case for every Westby Ward horse?
Yeah, but I don't want this horse.
They're entered every racetrack in the country, and you never know when they're going to actually run.
I don't want this horse first time back, and I know he's run well first time back, but
yes.
I know he has.
So you can't. That's a bad
argument. But he's going to beat even money.
It's a fallacious argument because he's done that, so you can't keep using that.
Why can't I? Well, he's also
because
5 now. He's run 11 times.
One of the best races he ever run was coming back in the Tourist Mile at Kentucky Downs. I mean, come on. Yeah,
I don't know.
The reason I like, okay, I'll tell you the reason I like Made You Look.
The reason I
like Made You Look is I think he's run very well in the races. He actually, in my opinion, ran extremely well in the 4-star Dave. He made the first move into a pace that absolutely incinerated, and he actually made the lead going to the 8th pole in that race in a wicked pace race that was falling apart. And I don't think there was anything wrong with his effort whatsoever. I think he ran almost as well as anybody in that race. And then I don't know what they were doing with him last time out, but he certainly didn't get the best of trips in there. So Conti Partito, Maggie just told me, also won. It's a 3-year-old. She's right. That horse. She was a 3-year-old. She ran there. I think she's right. Yeah, I'm sure she's right. She's always right. But I know she ran there as a 2-year-old, and then she came to Saratoga. But she won as a 3-year-old. I think Made You Look has actually run well in these races, and it's just the right horse. I just think he might be better in these. But I'm scared of Bound for Nowhere. But also, Therapist is finally getting to do what he wants to do. And here he is, last time he ran 7 furlongs, overcoming a less than clever tactical decision during the race that's still able to win. And, I know Emmaus is actually his first time in the country, but he's turned out to be a decent enough horse. And I think he's been running well enough during the year, despite running at the wrong distance in almost all his races. And now he cuts back. I'm scared of Therapist. I'm going to use him.
He's the one I think is the biggest threat to Made You Look today. Bound for Nowhere can win. I'm going to use the 3 of them. I'm going to use the 3 of them, but I like at the price and at the difference in price, I think Therapist is the horse you should be a little bit more interested in because, like you said, he's going to be doing what he wants to do.
I don't know if I agree with those odds. I don't think Bound for Nowhere is going to be that much shorter than Made You Look. Oh, it's 6-5, 2-1. Okay, I thought it was 6-5, 3-1.
No, I think that's just about right, and I think that I almost put Therapist on top in here. But I just think Made You Look is getting that class relief. He's getting back to Belmont too, where he's had some more success. I'm not saying he's run particularly better.
Gotcha. We got a lot to talk about in the last race today.
Okay.
There are a couple schools of thought in the last race. One is that the horse you put on top is just better than these. Have at it.
The horse I put on top is better than these. He's dropping down. You could probably make a case for a half a dozen in this field.
Doesn't it worry you? Haven't seen him for 5 months,
yeah.
And now he drops in for a tag?
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. But, the races he ran as a 2-year-old, he made the improvement to 3, and now he's dropping in for the tag. I think at some point you have to...
What do you think of his last race?
I don't think it was very good. I don't think it was very good, but it's faster than anything he's facing in here.
Well...
And now he's in for the tag, and I know.
He sort of got kept inside by Rinaldi, and he never really got a fair chance to run once they kind of gave up the lead with him, and I thought that really hurt his chances. So I didn't think he had the most comfortable of trips, but it does bother me that we haven't seen him for 5 months, and now he's coming back for a tag. And I realized, but it's only the end of his 3-year-old year. It just feels like I'm a little skeptical, and there's a lot going on in this race. I mean, I don't even have, we'll look at this replay of Captain Courageous, No More Miracles, and I want to show this. No More Miracles is the one horse in this race. Captain Courageous, it's an argument he could have won this race, a different setup, but No More Miracles is the one who was very unlucky in here. I know that he's probably meeting a tougher field today than he met that day, but No More Miracles, he gets completely and totally just caught behind horses and has nowhere to go in this race, as you can see. And I think he absolutely would have been second in this race if he'd been able to get out. And he got blocked. I don't love him in here because I think there's better horses, but I did want to show that. I think Sporting Art is extraordinarily dangerous in here, and I have a stat for Christophe Clement. Turning back from routes to 6 furlongs, he's got amazing numbers. He's 5 for 12 with maidens, so he's even better with maidens with an ROI that's similar. They get it done, and this horse ran like a horse that needs distance relief. He was too close to the fast pace, believe it or not, last time, made the first move into it. We'll see. I think Sporting Art is dangerous, and Silver Token, Silver Token was in a race last time, the number 6, that absolutely, the speed held together in there, nobody closed. This horse was extremely green and got sort of a ridiculous trip after braking slowly in there. I'm going to use the 5 and 6 as my main 2 horses. Sporting Art is 12 to 1 morning line. I probably should have put him on top. I'm going to use the 11. I'm going to use a little No More Miracles, but I'm going to try to get Sporting Art or Silver Token home in here. I even think Hudson Overpass getting back to a maiden claiming race is dangerous in here.
Yeah, like I said, you can make a case for 6 or 7 of them in here. I think the thing I would worry about most with Sporting Art is those were 2 hungry fields he ran against, and you just hoping that it's the cutback.
Well,
they were rough, Andy.
And
they were rough fields.
If you take out Plebes' last race, which member of the killer class is in here? What you have are a lot of interesting horses in here. You don't have a lot of horses that are going to be in the Hall of Fame in this race.
I think Plebes, the field Plebes ran against as 2-year-old at the time.
I agree.
Were okay.
But Plebe is a horse that was off for 10 months.
He was.
And now he's off for 5 months and he's dropping.
But don't you think that maybe he's just being realistically placed now?
Rinaldi finished 3rd in that race, came back and won 2 stakes. What do I think? I think this is a horse that they can't keep on the racetrack, and he's got serious issues, and they don't want to fool around anymore. They'd love to move him. I don't know that he's getting claimed. Don't get me wrong.
That would be remarkable.
If he got claimed,
taking a 3-year-old at the end of the turf season, New York bred. Where are you taking him? Florida? You take this horse to Florida?
They claim worse horses than this one.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think the MO here is to get this horse out of the maiden ranks and put him away for the winter and get him right.
I don't have to worry about that. He won't be able to run for 8 months after today.
Whatever the case is.
I think that he is the horse to beat, but he's going to be a short price. And he's not going to be second choice. Beachfront's the favorite. What does David like about Beachfront?
I think you can. I wouldn't want to make the line for this bunch. I
guess we got to go. Naira Bets. Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member. Good card today, by the way. Great card tomorrow. Tremendous card tomorrow. Bet 200, get 200. New member bonus, fall 19. 10 times points on all late pick 5 bets through Naira Bets today. That's 10 times points. Also, what else we got going on? We got mandatory payouts on Sunday, early and late pick 5s, as well as the carryover will be given out in the Empire 6. The day to play is the mandatory payout day on that when they give it out.
Sunday.
Maybe it'll pay decently. That's Sunday. Carryover could be a little more than $250,000 by Sunday. Also, Maximum Security, first place finish, Kentucky Derby. He will be running on Saturday as part of a sensational 10-race card. Weather's supposed to be like it is today. It's really just been beautiful here this week.
He crossed the line first in the Derby.
He crossed the line first.
Yeah, because my Naira Bets account
quickly,
certainly
Anthony,
doesn't say that
he won. 30 seconds.
Breeders' Cup Bash, Wednesday night. No more next. Wednesday night, right down the road on Hempstead Turnpike, King Umberto's, one of the best Italian restaurants around. It'll be myself, my pal Maggie Wolfendale, and my tag team radio partner Steve Grabowski. $80, 4-course meal, PPs for the classic, souvenir goodie bag, PayPal, the preferred method of payment, the big A Stabile at AOL.com, or you can email that, and I will make other arrangements.
Don't miss out. What could be a better evening than
7 o'clock post.
Heading on over. Larry Colmus up next, the reprise, the scratches and changes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, welcome to beautiful Belmont Park, where the Skies are mostly clear. Temperatures are in the 60s. The track is fast. The turf good with the rails at 18 feet on the inner and the widener for today's racing program. We have a jackpot carryover of $199,695 in the Empire 6 today. That'll be on races 4 through 9 on today's card. And don't forget, Sunday will be the mandatory payout for the Empire 6. And here once again are the changes for today's races. Race 1 today starts the early pick 5, scratch number 5, make or break. Number 5 is out of race 1. Second race, scratch 3, sweet leaf. Second race, scratch number 3.